Hello you lovely people, welcome back to part 2 of the Bovington Tankfest, which is located at the Bovington Tank Museum, which is the largest tank collection in the world. If you're into tanks, this is the thing to watch. It's got everything from the First World War tank from the British all the way up to the Challenger 3. A small glimpse of the Challenger 3 anyway, and the Ajax as well. If you like this sort of thing, please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Scan the QR code, press the bell end to get me notifications of the next video. Cheers. Thanks.
I'm punching keys back at home. I'm on my knees. Scrub the floors, clean the mess. This ain't no life, I must confess. No more Mrs. Nice Girl. I'm taking back my life. No more apron, no more stripe. Day I won't obey. Time to show you I won't play. No more dishes, no more chores. No more settling on scores. You want dinner, cook your own. Tonight I'm dancing on my own. He's got his feet up, watching the game while I run around calling names. Kids need help with ABCs. He just sighs and looks at me. I'm no maid, no Cinderella, a modern queen, not your umbrella. It's my turn to raise my voice. I got rhythm, I got choice. No more Mrs. Nice Girl, I'm taking back my life. No more apron, no more strife. All day I won't obey. Time to show you how.
Now more pizza. Pizza during the Second World War.
No more chores, no more settling on scores. You want dinner, cook your own. Tonight I'm dancing on my own. Listen, baby, don't you see? I need some space to just be me. Respecting, earned by watching screens. So pick it up or leave the scene. No more Mrs. Nice Girl, I'm taking back my life. No more apron, no more strife. I work all day, I won't obey. Time to show you I won't play. No more dishes, no more chores, no more settling on scores. You want dinner, cook your own. Tonight I'm dancing on my own. Shabba-dabba, swinging free. Tonight I'm dancing just for me. Slap those heels and shake my pearls. No more Mrs. Nice Girl.
Definitely real. room in there. All right. Push there. too. Massive everything. So far the land. Bye, Karen. Centurion been cut in half. The driver's got more room. Gemma, Amanda. Loader. 5mm gun. Eric?
After the first runway, a strong sense of patriotism was built in the armed forces
Sorry.
continued in British society. Technological innovation was celebrated, and large-scale events like military tattoos were attended by mass crowds. Uncovered in the society, reciprocally exciting.
Based on the T-54. T-54 55. The man around the square, whatever it's called. Well, there's a thimble for this bit and yeah. Ferret that is. Bit of Russian stuff. Here's a C-72, I think.
steering up into. Hold on. Make sure we're in the front row. I'm going to get down by those soldiers. So useful for me.
In the Second World War, the main way we did it is having a solid piece of very dense metal. Britain, America, we had access to tungsten. In Germany, it was called wolfram, but they couldn't get enough of it. They were importing it from Spain. They ended up doing, not going to sell Spain any oil, and they didn't stop selling tungsten. We had to stop Sweden. Special iron ore that alloys as well. they moved straight on to another tank, the M48 instead. Wow there. Such a big gun, it needs a cradle on the front to stop the gun waving around. A couple of tons worth there, so you don't want that rocking on what's called the trumpet bits and the whole of the box on the top. It wasn't really meant for a car, it was just a housing to see how big a space the troops would need to actually work on the inside. But as that vehicle goes off, it's not the security comes off. Because they designed it with updated lines, we have a chance to measure the thickness of the front bars on what will be We are worried now that 20-pounder aren't using that. They fitted the same size as a 20-pounder, go straight on the century, because one and that 105mm gun with new types of ammunition can penetrate that T-54, and it's so much better, it actually makes some other guns a really the M60 that we've seen in Sandy, same thing. It looks the same sort of tank, but on steroids. They're just getting them bigger each time. But this time, the Americans, they do a gunnery trial, 6 guns, all ones against the British, and all 705mm gun. So that's the one that's still got the license. Probably, instead of World War II, 1 round over, 1 round under, if you're lucky, the 3rd round of the target. So those Americans building a series of tanks. You can see the M60 driving around now. What always aspirates, as there always is, for new technology to go on a vehicle that's never ready in time. And the Americans had a new type of armour. They wanted it steel with silicon glass between the sandwich and the more than so the type of it was a reliable tank, but not particularly exciting for many people. If you've got a good gun, reasonable armour, and reasonable reliability, but it certainly wasn't cutting edge in any way. And in the end, the Americans were and most of these were fighting some of the large units. So the British gun essence on that tank, and on the side of the turret as well, British smoke discharges, those funny little banks of tubes to fire out packets of smoke out. Now this other one was made in designed in 1950
which is an amphibious scout car. Now, amphibious, that's a word that's going to occur repeatedly. Beyond the M2, that's an amphibious scout car. See how that and the vehicle behind it, the OT-90, are both boat-shaped. They are both designed to cross bodies of water on the surface. The behind the M2, it's a scout car. They're used as command variants, anti-tank gun and missile variants. This one, quite a jazzy camouflage scheme there, is happily the nuclear, biological, and chemical warfare survey unit. The whole thing about all patterns, reconnaissance is quite impressive. So you go forward, probe the enemy, look for weaknesses, suss out the river, but on a more effective way. The whole thing about it is an infantry fighter. So you can take part in combat, make a medallion, internationally now amazing what we call distance. As you go past the DJI Osmo sign, there is a really fine trouble there on the back. The whole thing is tanks working together.
don't jump it.
The big green left hand of two. Bloody marvellous. With the West Girders, and that was with their Marauder. And they came out with that in 1971. It takes roughly from the late 1960s to 1985 for the British to come up and develop warrior infantry fighting vehicles. What this allowed the British to do, the British Army to do, was to have armor-piercing ammunition and shell splinters with 155. Over a period of time from First Gulf at Desert Storm, in 2007 when they were in Iran, and later in 2011 when they were in Afghanistan, the armour gets upgraded. So this starts at just under about 26 tonnes metric. By 2011, when it's got the theatre entry standard armour fitting, it has gone up by 15 tonnes. It's now got 35 horsepower diesel V8 engine, and it can do about 36 miles per hour. In terms of its gun, it's got a rolling gun, 30mm, which is the same one that's on the Signature. It's got 250 initial snow in there, and it can fire armored vehicle as well. So these would have been used and deployed with the British infantry from 1987 onwards. They produced 787 of them, and it's due to go out for service next year. The vehicle you can see going here with it is Desert Yellow. That's the Desert Warrior. Now, that was conceived in 1986. The whole idea here was to create a warrior that would be supplied to countries in the Middle East. And in 1993, weight by 254 of these. Now, the key thing here is it's essentially got the same part, but it's got a very different turret to it. Now, there's about 30 changes to it, and one of the most important changes was the fitting and air conditioning. Because you're actually on missions, you need something difficult. That was one of the key things that you did. The turret, though, is the Leopard turret. This is the same one. You might think that looks a bit familiar. It's the same one that's on the Lab 25 and the Bradley. So what you can see on the mount there is one of the warriors that they used in this action. So over to you, Joe.
Thank you very much, Stuart. Private Harry carried out two individual acts of great heroism by which he saved the lives of his comrades. Both were in direct face of the enemy under intense fire and great personal risk to himself, one leading to him sustaining very serious injuries. His valour is worthy of the highest recognition. In the early hours of the 1st of May 2004, the Harris Company was ordered to replenish an isolated coalition forces outpost located in the centre of the troubled city of Alamara. He was the driver of the platoon commander's Warrior armoured fighting vehicle. His platoon was the company's reserve force and was placed on immediate notice to move. As the main elements of his company were moving into the city to carry out replenishment, they were retasked to fight through a series of enemy ambushes in order to extract a foot patrol that they could pin down and sustain small arms and heavy machine gun fire, an improvised explosive device and rocket-propelled grenade attack. The Harris platoon was tasked over the radio to help the assistance of the remainder of the company who were attempting to distract the isolated foot patrol. As the platoon passed a roundabout en route to the pin-down patrol, they became aware that the road to the front was empty of all civilian traffic, an indicator of potential ambush ahead. The platoon commander ordered the vehicle to halt so that he could assess the situation. The vehicle was then immediately hit by multiple rocket-propelled grenades. Ajax is reported that the vehicles engulfed in a number of violent explosions which physically rocked the vehicles on board. As a result of this ferocious initial volley of fire, both the platoon commander and the vehicle's gunner were incapacitated by concussion and other wounds, and a number of the soldiers in the rear of the vehicle were also wounded. Due to the damage sustained from blasts and vehicle radio systems, the Ajax no means of communication needed its turret crew or any of the other warrior vehicles deployed around it. He did not know if his commander or crew was still alive, or how it was serious that he was extracted from his vehicle with a greatly reduced risk of coming under fire. Despite receiving a serious injury, which later saw him listed as very seriously injured and in a coma for some time, his level-headed actions in the face of heavy and accurate enemy fire.
So this is the SV or support vehicle range. This is the recruitment, Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers. Okay, most specifically, you're always going to have a recce mech on there. Today, we've got Corporal Glasgow and Lance Corporal Metcalf. Bigfoot, excuse me. There we go. If I was going wrong, we still cheer. On cam, recce mechs are responsible for checking our lifting of vehicle. In that configuration, it can weigh up to 38 tons, and it needs to be that way with the vehicles. Interestingly, it can be used as a multi-purpose tool, so it's not just limited to recovery. The crane on the top, if used in conjunction with another vehicle, and I've seen this happen, it is a pretty impressive sight. Two of those put together are able to lift the turret off the Challenger 2.
We said before, how many roughly we've got, again, scale. We're seeing one of everything here, but of course for the military, we're actually doing contrast.
The MAN SV range, you've got about 6,000 vehicles, but that is double. We're going to see a vehicle like that coming up shortly.
And again, in the background, so obviously serving army, trying in here, but you can see the stands out. We've got things like the yeoman breathing people in the background as well. There's part-time soldiering as well. People, I imagine there's people here in the audience with skills, recovery,
Traditionally, they would have been on CDRs in the platform, the Spartan, perhaps, and now it's the Ajax variants that took the flight. As we touched on, and we've gone on about this on our time, we are not going to let that go to all the bottom by itself. We've got more to do. We're going to have a treat the tanks for an armored maneuver, watching this spot, looking out, and getting to make sure there's no way to moving into the crossing, it's going to be What is it that the troop sergeant will drive?
I mentioned this before, but it's interesting to note we are now not always painting them in this, what we would consider a Middle Eastern sand sort of colour, isn't it? Because we've now got urban ops, we've got urban camouflage, and of course, you mentioned we're out in Estonia, so very different camouflage schemes on backpack vehicles.
I haven't enjoyed some of your videos on personal camouflage patterns. I think it's a really interesting time for armoured vehicles as well, because there is work being done. What is the new camouflage pattern going to be? We all remember Berlin camo. Is it going to be digital? Are we going to be going for some kind of disruptive camouflage pattern? It's quite exciting in that time. Yeah, that is a vehicle that might be used in a sandy position, so we've still got that colour. But watch this space, because who knows what we're going to be doing. We do a lot of work with disruption, trying to break up the outlines of vehicles. That can be achieved with add-on camouflage, it can be achieved with simple paint.
And one thing that perhaps many people here, you can obviously see that vehicle. We're looking through our eyes. It might be that you're going to be looking through binoculars if it's again out there on campaign. Don't forget, a lot of systems now are looking at vehicles through thermal, so you're trying to protect against that, so you see a thermal image of the vehicle. And of course, the other thing is this word electronic signature. It's giving out another set of signals, isn't it, that you want to detect if it's the enemy or hide if it's yours.
The biggest thing for that is radio transmission, and being part of an armoured regiment, if anybody's got any experience in tanks, you know we like to watch the nonsense over the net. So that is a real training thing. Everybody knows that when we move into position, we need to be able to do that without transmitting. Because when we're transmitting, we're giving our location away.
And when you see these vehicles, by the way, it's not just out at the beginning of those. They did the exercise where they sent them across Poland to Dorset. They are very speedy and impressive. You've got a fair old lump there with a 50 caliber that can turn up and do some damage.
Yeah, Sergeant Duncan driving it. Sergeant Jackson driving it at W02 in Duncan. This vehicle is capable of driving on 3 wheels. I've not seen it tested, but in theory that's what it can do.
And that idea is also about the otherwise sacrificial. Sometimes we see vehicles with that massive wing change. Because I'm always fascinated, they're torsion cars down something, aren't they? So you can actually see the springing mechanism of those funny rods going down the side of the hardware. And that works normally they're across the whole of the tank. There they are on the outside, laterally on the side of the vehicle.
So people think this is giving us a replacement wire. It's not going to be that. It's not designed to be that. Multiple variants have already been in use. This vehicle has been in use in Germany. It Ajax is the cornerstone of us moving forward.
And when you look at this, so we said that word modular. For most people here, if you remember, go back, I'm a Thunderbirds generation person. So the pod on the back can be lifted off. So if you look at that vehicle from almost about, what is it now, that rear section can be lifted off and a different pod put on for a different role should you need it. And there's going to be a range of those sort of different roles we know they're going to be used for, so different pods, and they're developing it further on. It may well be that the new 155 artillery system goes basically on the back of the Boxer.
And that looks like a very exciting prospect. Having read a little bit about that. The thing with modular as well, not only does it allow it to change its battlefield role, but we can keep it current and competent. We can swap it out, we can upgrade it. Something that possibly British armoured fighting vehicles have been guilty of not doing in the past. It future-proofs it, and it allows it room to develop, to keep up to pace with developing threats.
So all the time we'll be talking about. And even though it's getting an older weapon, that 30mm roll is still a pretty clumsy piece to take with you. When you do what you do for a reason,
Laying fire down, as infantry dismounted, closing in and destroying the Magnus's enemies. 30mm rifle cannon, rapid fire, high explosive going overhead. It was perfect for what it was there for. Still massively in use. What you see here is the 510 carrying version. We've still got the 511, 512, 513 electric engineered, and then going on to 14s, 15s, the artillery variants. So whilst our options may change in terms of our armoured infantry, it's not the other specialty vehicles, simple features like that that have gone missing so long. It's a massive difference maker. All the vehicles now are getting 360 cameras, but with that high threat that possibly, dare I say, drones are creating, you want to be able to help.
We've mentioned it yesterday, but one of the great defensive mechanisms on its own is speed. The fact it is so fast, you're hoping basically the enemy gunners aren't going to get a chance to actually lay.
Our favourite tank from over the road at ATU. This is pretty much what we can do with a Challenger 2 top end, a combination of OES and TES. If you want to get into a technical debate about what the difference is, Staff Sergeant Anthony Cherritt of the KRH is your guy to do that. He told me he'd love to do that. We've got the remote weapon system, we've got the ECM suite at the top, we've got the add-on armour. This is the pinnacle. If we're going to go into a high threat environment, this is what we're doing it in. Third generation main battle tank. We've got composite armour, we've got the fully automated electronic fire control system, meaning irrespective of what speed we're travelling, we can use that weapon system from a fully stabilised position. A quick shout out to those on board and the ones that you can't see. Driving today, we've got Trooper Thompson from the RTR, we've got Lance Reamer from the RTR, and commanding, we have our Canadian 2IC from ATU, Major Ben Mitchell.
So it is that, and I keep coming back to, that's the point. You look at all those other bits to the vehicle, it may be very positive, but what if it interferes with something else? You can see it physically there with things like bar armour, why it needs to be mobile, why it can rock at the back if you've got all those things, but also other bits of electronics if they're interfering with each other. We've done no one any favours.
That's why we tried it, that's why we tested it, you're absolutely right. I can think of only a couple of trials where something really good piece of kit has been on it with this fresh and unfortunately no one happened.
And this idea that the safety model of plug-in systems, that idea we've got an infrastructure now, but again in the past electronics almost separate for everything. Now we can take one thing out and put something in, well that's the idea, one home.
Modularity, as you said, does work, and it's all about that future-proofing modularity.
things, the hunter killer system, and he's going to use his smoke, so be warned as we go around. He's doing that just by putting diesel on the hot exhaust, and it's a way of creating, and it's also acts against thermal as well to a degree, doesn't it?
It does. So we're fortunate because at the front you'll see we do have the normal multi-barrel smoke grenade discharges. Much more of a defensive thing. We really need to get out of trouble next orbit. But the ability to blast smoke by simply going the diesel on can create confusion and it can mask our movement. But what you've got to remember with smoke is it doesn't go around, so we can't manually signal our own smoke, so it needs to be used properly.
Families who've come here with them today, thank you so much.
to you for coming. Don't forget your 2027 tickets and 2026 prices at tankfest.org when you get home. And from myself, a big thank you to all of the staff, all of the volunteers, the directors, the speakers today, and of course as well, big thanks to everyone who's done the audio visual. Hopefully you've enjoyed Tankfest. Make sure you fill in the feedback form and have a very safe journey home.
Thank you to our main sponsor, World of Tanks, and thank you for coming to visit. Have a great day.
I hope you enjoyed that sort of thing. If you did, please like and subscribe, leave a comment, share with your friends and family, and don't forget to scan the QR code. And don't forget to press the bell end, which will notify you when the next video comes out. And don't forget to scan the QR code. I think I've already said that, but never mind. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.